Yo, what's up, guys? We have the update already. That's actually a lot faster than expected because they made a post about it that they're going to change things yesterday. I was kind of expecting the patch on Thursday, Friday, maybe next week. We got it Wednesday already, Wednesday morning early. So pretty much between mentioning the notice and actually giving the patch was like, what, 12 hours, which is pretty dope. So that is pretty nice. And let's see what the dungeon runs mean. So I actually talked with the guy that does everything for Swarfarm. I do have some data myself, but of course this data is going to be pretty biased, and I messed up a team or a unit. I probably didn't recognize the unit, don't look at that. But I actually had a super high legendary drop rate. I had 10%, but then again, I had like 160 runs, which is not really that much. But then 10% legendary, that would be very nice, right? That would be insanely nice. But we can also see that the hero drop rate increased a lot. But let's look at some actual data of more people recording. I'm also one of those people recording towards this website, of course. And we have a 2,804 records on this. I also do have the screenshot of what it was yesterday, so I don't have to go back and forth that way. But interesting enough, I see a few things. And let me pull up that screenshot here as well. So this is the same thing as yesterday from what we've seen. This is the same circle. They lowered the legendary drop rate by 0.1%. I'm not sure. It may be like rounding up and down coming to the same number, but legendary drop rate seems to be the same. I was just on a lucky streak, streamer luck, for getting more legendaries. But what we can see, they greatly increase the amount of hero runes and they greatly decrease the amount of rare runes. Like by a pretty substantial portion that I would say like, hey, I like those numbers. If we look at the other side, intangible runes also increased from 3.6 to 4.4, which is definitely something I like. And yeah, that's just pretty nice in general. So yes, they did up the what's it called, the drop rate by quite some. Legendary runes, and unfortunately they didn't add more legendary runes. In the end, I need more legendary runes than hero runes, but hero runes are still very useful if they triple roll, and currently it's also cheaper to triple roll them. But yeah, if we look back at the thing that I made before of, okay, what is the multiplication of how much more time and how much more effort is it? So let's say you do B10s in this, let's say you do hearts in, well, I do hearts averaging on like 35 right now. Legend drop rate is the same. So if we compare legend drop rates, yeah, then we're gonna have a clouded answer on this, because legend drop rate is pretty much the same. But if you check hero drop rate actually goes up from 41 to 56. So if we add in those numbers and we keep in mind that we only have to increase one energy right now, where that's actually very huge, because the thing which I was talking about before, and let's actually see if that also changes. Do I have that in this screenshot? I don't have this in the screenshot. So the energy cashback, I think it was actually less if I'm not mistaken, because I think it was 73 and I think this was 4.4, but I could be wrong on that. Maybe you have to check the video before. I don't have it on this screenshot apparently. But oh yeah, that's a nice thing. NPC energy. That's one of my. This is just my screenshot folder. But side talking. You probably know that one person that has too much NPC energy, right? Yeah, that's just one of those new things. I don't know, but it's amazing. But yeah, in general, legend drop rates, I'm somewhat surprised that they kept legend drop rate the same. Hero drop rate is a lot better. Intangible runes drop rate is a lot better. In a sense, they also buffed the amount of mana you get, because the more heroes runes you get, hero runes of course sell for more than legendary runes. So if we check this right now, did my team fill, or was it fast enough to clear that fast? Okay, we're just there. So if we sell this one, it is just a plus of 21. If we sell this one, oh no, are we going to sell this one? We're going to triple roll first, get 24 speed. We don't, okay, we sell it 28. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. The more hero runes you get, the more mana you also get. So with that, we have a lot more mana intake for energy cost, and the amount of one energy less for the cost is actually really, really big, because, well, you have your energy cashback and your crystal cashback. If you have less intake money at first, or less intake of those energies first, it just makes things a lot faster. And then you're going to be on the question like, okay, but now I need a fast team because this is actually very valuable to farm. Because I would still say for people, if you really struggle with farming this, I would probably still stay in B10s. Like B10s by all means are not bad. But like if you're new to the game, you just finish your Tricaro, just finish your dot team, all of that kind of good stuff, definitely stay in B10s. Until you have a team that probably runs like 1 minute 30 to 2 minutes ish and is safe. That's the important part. Your team has to be safe to say like, okay, I want to spend 9 energy per time to actually run this. Because in the end, you're going to get more value for your energy if you're running this over B10s. Pretty sure. Is it an insane increase? Not necessarily really that much, but it is a pretty substantial increase, I would say. So definitely do keep that in mind that you have to have a safe team to actually run this. If it's slow, well, that's up to you. Do you have enough energy to spend? If you don't have that much energy, you don't really buy that many things, you don't have that many crisps, just go for a very safe team. My first video on this thing, I will link it in the description down below as well. That's more of a safe team with like Veromosses in there, Lycas in there, Savannas in there, those kind of units you kind of need to make it very safe. I don't have a full-on safe free-to-play team yet. I do already have a speed team free-to-play, which I will be posting on the video of tomorrow. I recorded it before this, so we're time swapping on that part as well. But yeah, I would say I'm actively seeing that I'm getting more intangible runes. I'm actively seeing that I'm getting less blue runes, and now we're definitely gonna get a blue rune because I just called it out. Hero rune. So yeah, you're getting a lot of hero runes. Are you necessarily getting a lot of legendary runes? No, legendary runes are not really there yet. So that part is still somewhat lacking. We do also notice that besides that, we also have the things where we have reduced of mana cost for the what's it called? Did they actually mention it here? No, they do mention it in the update itself. That we have the reduction of cost for just a whole bunch of things. Like evolving became quite a bit cheaper. I think that's nice. All of these things just becoming a lot cheaper. Like this is like an insane amount of cheaper for requirements. So those are very nice things. I also really like that they adjusted this. So also for your runes, if you know that you're somewhat lower on mana, try a +3 first, then try a +6, then try a +9. Don't go instantly +9s and then saying like, yeah, but I don't have any mana. Like, yeah, you don't have to go +9. Like, if you need your rune to only roll speed or roll high, try +3. If it doesn't roll speed, you sell it. Then you actually have more cashback from the rune itself rather than just spending the amount that you also get as cashback, pretty much. So that is definitely a thing. Artifact farming is still very nice. I did hear a lot of people complain about this part of the conversion still being too expensive. I highly disagree. Because probably before you barely used the conversion stones because they were way too expensive. Like getting these conversion stones is relatively hard. I had some of my artifacts costing 1.5k conversion stones to do one reroll. That is a day of farming. In a day of farming, you can definitely get like a 500,000 of this. And that was not even the most expensive cost. Like, I would say it would be okayish if they make more steps in between and the increments slightly slower. And then go for like at the 10th time, then maybe be at this cost. But I would say that this is a very fair trade-off compared to what it was. Sure, it does cost a bunch of mana, but I think it's definitely nice. This is by far actually the biggest thing. Like, this is bigger than this, to be honest. The reduction of the energy cost is just very huge, and I think that's kind of underrated. They also added one thing which is very nice, is that if you sell a rune, rather than it popping up in your face and you cannot click anywhere else kind of thing, you can kind of click it to the side, and that makes things a lot more chill. Let me give an example. When we sell a rune, we have this rune garbage, we sell it, it pops up here to the left rather than here in your face. That's pretty nice. Issue, however, is, which I still have, that if you're in this screen and you get triple resistance, very normal, you sell it over here, why does this not close instantly? Like, why do I cannot click anything right now, rune salt, can't click anything, I only can click close. So it would be a lot nicer from this screen that if I could instantly close these things right away. You might say like, hey, but you just mentioned don't go for +12s right away. Well, I have this, so I don't have that issue that I have to complain about now. So that's definitely a thing for this. I think this is a very big W for the update itself. One thing I actually didn't test at all yet. Wait, did they actually do it in this update already? I think they didn't mention it. Or did they? Did they already change where the... they did also fix this thing. This thing was doing too much damage. I think it's also an issue for Sienna. Sienna was doing full damage as if she pushed back everything. But okay, that's whatever. Is there a thing where they said for the rift raids? Did they address that part already? Or maybe that's something they are going to address in the future. I think that will be something they will address in the future. Because farming rift raid is still a bitch because the dungeon is just way too freaking long. And as far as I know, maybe someone in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but they said they were going to address, but they haven't addressed yet. So that may be something that will come in a future patch. Let's see, this they did mention. Where is that this? They were talking about no more info right now. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, okay, we'll try to find a solution as quickly as possible. Okay, so this is definitely something that we don't have yet. I also, with this, hope they address it, that currently if you do R5, R5 is going to give the fight runes, enhanced runes, all of that kind of nonsense runes. We don't really need them in grinds of. I hope that they definitely would address that as well, because that would be very nice to be addressed as well. But so far, I'll still be keeping track of all of the data for the hard stage. It does seem with like 3,000 records, like sure, it's not that many records, but it's a decent amount of records to say like, okay, we can see hero being increased. We can see intangible runes being... Actually, intangible runes are increased by like, what, 25%, which is a lot. Hero runes are increased by like from the old state to the current state is an improvement of 25 to 30% as well. This is a decrease of like 30% from the old state. So those are very nice numbers. I am sad that they didn't increase legendary drop rate by maybe just like a 10%, make this like 5% drop rate or something like that. That would be pretty nice, but yeah, too bad they still don't want to give us too many legendary runes. They rather give us a whole bunch of green runes, or green runes. Huh, I'm happy they don't. Whole bunch of purple runes. Well, purple runes way better than blue runes in general. So happy about that part. I think we have a pretty solid update at hand, and I'll definitely be back farming this quite a lot. And Abyss is for sure worth it. So that is very nice. So guys, that's it for this video. Guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. And next one will be the free-to-play team of this dungeon with a speed team free-to-play. I still have to make a speed team for dragons. Personally, I'm not that invested in dragons at all. So I will go for a team on that at some point, but I'm not farming too much dragons lately. I'm farming a lot of giants, but I will make a dragon speed team as well at some point. I already seen some teams. Of course, it's very LD 4-star focused, but we will go for some free-to-play options as well. So guys, see you in those. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you, boys. So besides that, on Swarfarm, you can also log in your own account, and then it tries to match your wizard ID with the one that's sending drop rates if you're sending that through the Swex thingy. So you can see here that it's sending, like, every time that I finish the run, it sends it over there as well. And with the settings, you can say that you have those like things enabled. I think it's this one, Swarfarm logger. So you can also see what kind of stuff is being sent over there then. I did send in like specific time spans for just today. And what we can see here that I did 250 runs. My galleon rate is 3.2. No, but I also tested the other teams that didn't always work. So therefore my win rate is lower. I think my initial team probably is maybe 1.5% fail rate or some stuff. But interesting thing we can see here, well, this is just 250 runs, but my legend rate is a lot higher than what we saw on the other thing. So either I'm sacking, same on intangible runes, I'm sacking. But this is quite a bit higher, but I'll keep track of this as well. Probably at some point in the future, I'll make an update video of when I have like 10,000 runs or some shit like that. But yeah, I do see that the drop rates are pretty much improved. However, we also do see that if we go back a few times to where I was still... This one, was this the correct one? I think this is the correct one with the correct time. No, wait, it's not the correct time. Oh, I missed the thing. One further, then I have the correct time. Yes, daytime is true. We have 5k runs right now. And actually, the legendary drop rate dropped to 3.9. Which is kind of weird. Like, the intangible one actually went up. But once again, if we take this thing, intangible was 1% up from 3.7 to a 4.7. But we can see here for legendary drop rate, it's actually going down. So the legendary drop rate, I'm still not really sure about if they upped it, lowered it, or kind of kept it the same. I think they kept it the same, but that's kind of weird. But yeah, that's just some later update of today, and probably make a future video on this at some later.